Hi, my name's Nick Styne. I was an agent for 25 years. I worked at CA and I worked at ICM, and I just started a new company, Definition Entertainment, which is a management and production company, as well as has a music division. The actual movie industry, the way it was, is changing dramatically. And if you're not curious, you're gonna be extinct very soon. Talent, you can dream all you want, but if you're not talented, you're dead before you start.
There are so many changes in the industry right now, you know, with the Netflix and Amazon, everything. Do you think it's more opportunities, or do you think it's more difficult to navigate?
I like it much better. I think for me, being a representative, I'm looking at more buyers, more jobs for my clients, and more cool opportunities. But you just need, for that, you have to have a better understanding of how the business is really working.
Exactly.
I don't look at it anymore as, is it a movie, is it a television show, is it digital? I just say it's content. So is it content? Is the script great? Is the director great? Are the actors great? Where's it gonna go and how are people gonna see it? The good news is now, if you have actors or artists that have a big following, they can put that show or that movie anywhere and people will find it. So they don't, you know, as you know, the next gen are just coming on and saying to Siri, play this show. They don't even know what network it's on and it jumps to it. So that's a great thing. Netflix is an incredible company, incredible buyer. So is Amazon, so will Apple be, so will Quibi's coming out, or Quibi. These are incredible companies. It's gonna be more and more and more. Amazon is gonna figure it out soon. HBO, I believe, will end up being a Netflix. I think that Warner's, if I had to bet, Warner Brothers they're gonna wanna compete with, you know, Hulu's owned by Disney, 65%, Amazon's Amazon, Netflix is Netflix. HBO is such a solid brand and so many subscribers, I could see that becoming their streaming service for all of Warner Brothers projects and content. And they could easily switch it because HBO Go is set up like that and they already have movies. So to me, that's another one that's gonna have to figure it out, and that's where I think Warner's is gonna go, if I had to bet.
And what is your vision for the entertainment industry in the coming years? How do you see
I think
it?
it's getting better and better. There's more and more jobs, so there's more and more bad jobs, but there's less power. The studios aren't making the movies they used to. They're making huge movies that have to be in theaters, or they're making smaller films that they can buy and distribute. So it's changing a lot. Those middle movies, those dramas, those $20 to $40 million dramas are dying fast, unfortunately.
So it's more money involved in the industry, you think?
Yeah, I do, because there's all these new ways to see it. But having said that, the actual movie industry, the way it was, is changing dramatically. And now you see this movie that this company that Jeff Katzenberg has, Quibi, it's 10-minute content. So they'll take a movie that's 2 hours and break it up into 12 10-minute episodes. So they're gonna experiment with, I believe, once again, they're still figuring it all out, but I believe that's saying, okay, the attention span of American or world kids in America is about 10 minutes. So if they watch a 10-minute episode of a movie, instead of watching the whole movie or the trailer, you're watching the first 10 minutes, they're gonna then probably go to the next 10 minutes. And then it becomes, they can binge watch it, or they can watch it like a movie, or they can watch 10 minutes and say, I don't like this movie, I'm going to something else. It's kind of an interesting concept with series and everything. We'll see how that works. I would always bet on Jeff Katzenberg. I believe it will work.
How do you differentiate between the dreamers and the doers in the industry?
Talent. You can dream all you want, but if you're not talented, you're dead before you start, in my opinion. You'll get found out. Some people without talent play themselves. So everybody, when you say a dreamer, you should dream and you should chase your dreams and your passion. But at some point, if you're not talented as a director, you're gonna make a film that people are gonna say is terrible, and then it's gonna be hard to recover from that. And I think kids need to take a good look at themselves in film school and a look around the class and say, I'm not even one of the most talented kids out of 22 kids in a graduate film class. I probably am not going to make it as a director, but it doesn't work like that. All the family and everybody encourages, that's all you want to do. So hopefully some of these people can overcome what they lack in pure talent. But doers and dreamers, it's a lot easier to do if you have talent. As far as you talk about actors or agents and managers, I think curiosity is the most important word. That's not part of that, but it is. If you're curious about things, you're going to figure it out. And if you're not curious, you're gonna be extinct very soon. I think you can look at that with technology. The actors and agents that have embraced technology are doing better, and the managers too. The ones that haven't are going to become dinosaurs very soon. Whether you post or not, and whether you like to be on social media or not, you better be on social media looking at what's going on. Otherwise, you're not going to understand it, and then you can't talk to any of these young, talented people. Kids today that's all they know, and that's the way it's going.
And what did it change? Social media is very important. So what did it change for you as a manager or as an agent?
I started using YouTube actually in the early stages of my career to find talent, because talent is talent. And so I believed there's a reason why Justin Bieber had millions of kids following him singing covers of songs before he released his music when he was just in Canada. There's a reason why Ariana Grande was singing covers on her bed in New York, jumping on it with a mic like this, and when we started representing her, you can tell talent. Now the problem is that everybody's looking for talent on YouTube, so there's a lot more eyeballs out there, and there's a lot more untalented people trying to fool people. You have singers that can't sing, auto-tuning themselves and coming out with tracks. So anybody can sing a hit song right now. It's just try and get them in a room to play live. It's completely different. So talent, it's all over the place. The reason I think I was so successful with all of the younger talent was, when my kids were growing up, I asked them and all of their friends, what do you like? Who do you like out there? And quite often, a lot of the people that I learned about, I had no clue they existed, because they were obscure bands, or one little kid tipped me off to One Direction back when they were on the X Factor as like separate contestants, and they got put together. Back then, this 14-year-old girl in the Midwest who had a relationship with me because she was a huge fan of one of my clients. So we embrace the fans sometimes that are good ones, and we help them and give them tickets to things because they're such good loyal fans. And this particular fan was like, you should look into this band. And so I'm telling you, there's more knowledge you can get from younger people.
What is the question you would like to hear more often, and what is the question you would like to never hear again?
Why don't I have a job for my hiatus is the question I would not want to hear anymore, because I'd rather hear, that's what a lot of, not my clients are all perfect, but there are actors out there that say, oh, why don't I have a job? Why did so-and-so get this job? Why didn't my agent send me this script? Well, I would rather hear them say, what can I do to make my career better? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Because Al Pacino still studies acting. If Al Pacino's still studying acting, I don't like that a lot of actors think that they've mastered it and they don't need to continue studying. I think that's the wild thing about being an actor. You can never do your best role. There's always something better out there, and that's why the really great actors, enjoy it that way. Daniel Day-Lewis, I could say he doesn't need acting classes, but he still gets them by working with directors and actors. So, yeah, I would like people to say, what can I do to work as hard as you and make this, instead of like, why don't I have this? Like, how about it? I hate how sometimes people ask these questions as if we're responsible for getting them the jobs. We're responsible for putting people into rooms, giving them opportunities, giving them our best advice, reading all the scripts, telling them what we think. But at the end of the day, they've got to go in the room and win that role. And it's amazing how many people don't understand that. Now, some people are not good auditioners, and some people are, and that's a whole nother 2-hour discussion. But there's a lot of variables of how people get cast. But nobody forces anyone into jobs anymore. That they used to at one point, but that's not really done a lot, especially now that it's leveled out for women and diversity out there. Everything's changing now, so it's a fair playing field. There will be no more, especially with all the things that have been going on with the college admissions scandal. I think people are now going to be very, very careful that nobody gets anything the easy way. So talent's going to once again be king. It always has been. It always is going to be. There's no chance until we have AI technology, AI actors, and I'm not sure that AI actors, there will. It depends who programs that at, and I'm not sure if that can ever hurt our business. I don't think it can, and that's why I think we're in a recession-proof business. This business, because when people are sad, or when there's a depression or a recession, they still they need an escape. So going to the movies or going to see some music or going home and watching TV or movies is cheap comparatively to everything else. So you can do that as a family, you can escape for a few hours, and I really believe that that's why our business is great. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It brings some happiness in the families and to everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.